All right, so we literally just fixed the iron farm, and I realized this was something I forgot to show off in the last episode. So I actually recorded the whole building process of this, ended up losing the file, and completely forgot to show it off. So this is actually a bubble elevator from where the melon and pumpkin farm is. So as you can see, melons just shot up, and then they come across in the floor, up this little water stream right here, and then into these chests. And these I just turn into melons and put into this chest or trade with the villagers. So I forgot to show that off. This is actually a pretty cool little system though. We'll go down and check out the little bit of redstone I did for it. It's not much, but definitely want to show this off because I think it's a really cool feature in the base. And I definitely want to have kind of more of these things later on. All right, so down here is the melon and pumpkin farm, and we actually used to have chests right here where we could get the items, but now as you see here, we have dispensers with pumpkins and melons inside of them that shoot into this water stream that's under these slabs. You can actually see the pumpkins coming up right there. These always stay at 41 just because that's how the comparators work with these dispensers. And then these are kind of little redstone timers, I guess you could say. Every time this goes above 41, this system activates and the dispenser works. So it actually makes it so that the dispenser isn't constantly running and making that sound, which is super nice considering that it's fairly annoying if you run it all the time. All right, so right now we are using a mod called Litmatica, which places schematics in your world. You may have seen like Smallish Beans or Joey Graceffa use this before. They've both used it on the Empire's SMP. If you've ever watched Sidecraft, they use this to put schematics down. So I took the bone meal farm from ilmango's tutorial world. I altered it into a moss farm. You can see I made some changes to the collection system basically. And so now this schematic is in our world. We just have to place all the blocks down so it's actually here. I think I have all the blocks ready right here. Obviously like white glass, things like that, and concrete are being changed out for blocks that I have, which is just clear glass and probably stone for that. But we still have actually some areas to clear out before we can fit this in. So we're going to go ahead, clear out some areas, and then we will get started on actually constructing this thing. Alright, so this thing is missing a couple sea pickles. I could not find War Motion. I actually did go back to that desert biome though, and found a few more sea pickles there, specifically 2 more. So we are missing some sea pickles, but hopefully this thing should still run. This is, I haven't tested it yet, so this is really like the big test right here. The on switch is that lever. I preloaded some bone meal into it, so oh boy. Let's really hope this works. No, everything is definitely not working. I've 100% forgotten water. Definitely supposed to be water over there. Okay, let's shut this thing off. We definitely forgot to place the water for the stone generators. Alright. Okay, so we forgot to place some water for the stone generators, which is going to flush the system as well. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll retest this system. All right, this thing. Okay, hold on. I'll call it. This thing is working 100% now. As you can see, I've placed the water in, and so that generates the stone. It pulls it down, pushes it across, which pushes all the moss out, which gets collected in the center there. Alright, so I've done a few fixes around basically this entire thing. There was some problems. Some cobblestone got in the system. These pistons weren't all the way open, and these trapdoors got messed up. But I fixed everything, and now as you can see, we have a fully functioning moss and bone meal farm. This thing is producing a crazy amount. I literally just turned it on, and let's go down and see what we're collecting already, because this thing is crazy fast. So this right here is where all the moss and everything is coming in, and I actually have a ton in my inventory from when I was up in there fixing it. That's my torch. We are getting way more moss than we are ever going to need, and that's great. So of course, while we were working on the moss farm right below our base, the iron farm right above our base was working hard as well. And check this out. We got, what is that? Over 7 stacks of iron blocks just while we were working on the moss farm. This thing produces crazy fast. And we're actually going to take these poppies as well and put them down into the bone meal generator at the moss farm, just so it supplies the moss a bit quicker, since the startup cost of bone meal is pretty high. So of course, as I pointed out before, we didn't actually have a collection system for the bone meal yet, and the way I went about this is I basically just made a tube from right where the bone meal will fall off and made it so that's going to go into the exact same chest as the moss. I'm really only going to run this farm when I need moss, so I don't really need it running all the time, and just having the same collection system for both shouldn't really be that big of a deal. Alright, so strange occurrence here. We got a couple cats in the boat now. Don't know how that happened, but we should definitely tame those guys. I think we need fish though, so don't have that right now. But here's what we need to work on now. So moss farm is all done. We've got some extra bone meal going because we took the poppies that were in here before. And wow, we actually have a ton of iron. We already pulled those 7 stacks or so of iron blocks, and now we already are filling up again. This farm is crazy efficient. Here's the thing though. It's crazy efficient, except we have 4 separate chests, 4 separate storage systems for this iron. We need to make it one system, which means we need to bring all these kill chambers into one kill chamber. Unfortunately though, I did build this directly above my base. I may have forgotten that part when I was doing the construction of this. I'm also thinking we can turn this into like a castle type ruin. I don't know, that'll be a problem for the next 100 days. What we need to worry about now is the kill chamber. So what we're gonna do is we are going to dig straight underneath these hoppers and see exactly where in my base these things are going. Okay, so this one is going directly into these villagers. This one shouldn't cause any problems at all. We've tunneled this one over to where, oh boy, to where this kill chamber will be. Alright, so I got everything dug out and I even got the kill chamber set up. I just kind of sped through that part of the build. So now we can actually drop all these iron golems. I stole the lava, so they were just kind of sitting there. Fortunately, they are out of range of the actual system though, so it doesn't slow down any of the actual progress. But we're going to drop all these guys down and see. We're going to make sure all these kill chambers are working below now, basically. So this is what I decided to set up underneath this base. We actually have 2 kill chambers now instead of 4. They're much closer together, and we'll probably work out a way so these items flow directly into my storage system rather than sitting here. But we're going to definitely work on that later. This is all set up now though, so our iron farm is functioning and it's funneling down to a more convenient system. Although we don't actually have any way to get into this part from the base exactly. We definitely need to work on something there. Right now we're actually just dropping through a hole in the floor near the cows. So yeah, we definitely have some work to do on this, but it is all functionally working right now. It is now like day 193. We are definitely running out of time in this 100 days right now. We are so close to 200, and I figured the best way to finish this off is to go and beat another boss in Minecraft. So we're going to head over to the Guardian Temple that I know of over here. There's actually 2 over here, and we're going to go ahead and clear one out. We're doing this partly because we're close to 200 days and I think it's a great way to finish, and partly because we've been working on automatic farms for about 100 days now, and I really just want to do something more adventurous right now. Alright, so we just went through and killed all the guardians. I probably didn't show it all in the final edit, but we are waiting for this little bit of the mining fatigue to wear off, and then we are going to dig up the sponges and actually clear this thing out. Unfortunately though, I have not been able to find an actual sponge room yet. I don't know why, but I genuinely don't think there is one in this Guardian Temple, which is super weird. I thought there was always one no matter what, but I have not been able to find one yet, and I don't know if I'm just crazy or if there genuinely isn't one in this place. Alright, so I went through this thing for probably another 15 more minutes and I could not find a single sponge. I do know of another Guardian Temple not far off, so we're going to go ahead and go clear this one out too, and hopefully we find some sponges in this one so we can actually clear one of these things out completely. Well, we completely cleared it and we came back with, I think, 38 sponges because there was only one sponge room. So I guess we're going to have to make do with that amount of sponges. That should actually be fine. We're just clearing out one Guardian Temple right now, so we'll make do with that. Alright, so I did a lot more than I thought I was going to do. Got most of the water out. We're still working on this side, getting some sponges smelted up right now. Then we can finish that off. And then we are going to finish off emptying this thing out. So we're going to make it all the way to the walls and apparently a little past in some places. But we're going to empty this thing out and that's going to bring us to day 200. We're on 197 right now. So we really need to speed through this in order to finish by day 200. I want to have this completely done by the time this F3 menu hits day 200. All right, let's finish this project off. Alright, so we now have this whole thing excavated out. It looks like there's still a couple blocks here and there that we need to dig out, but we can get to that later. Oh, I can actually reach that. Heck yeah. So this side took a bit of work to get all the water out. I was waiting for the sponges, but we finally got all that done now. And this thing, it's empty. It's complete. Of course, we're going to be doing a project in here later on in the series. But we're going to save that for much later because we have about 1,000 other projects that we're currently working on. So I think we can leave this one for now. We are on day 199, so let's go ahead, head back to the base, and we'll do a little something to celebrate. Oh boy, so there are 2 guardians inside my boat, and it is now unusable. So we have to just swim back to the island. Also, if you're wondering where this island is compared to the Guardian Temple's right there. My island is right there, although I am on the other side of it, though, my base is. I was sitting here. Oh god, I need to make a new bow. I was sitting here trying to craft up this iron and iron blocks, and a creeper came up and blew up my crafting table. That right there looks like sunrise. It is now day 200 of this hardcore Minecraft series. We have basically spent the entirety of this last 100 days just making automatic farms. This, of course, is the iron farm. We're having a little bit of cake next to the iron farm because I thought this was, of course, one of the big achievements of this 100 days. And it's also outside so we can see the sunrise. But that, let's check, hasn't actually switched yet. We're still day 199 technically, but I'm going to count that as 200 days. It's going to switch any second. what all did we do in this 100 days? So first off, we of course went and raided the end dimension. We got a ton of shulker boxes, a couple of elytras, and we actually haven't really even used the elytra that we got. We went searching for some coral, didn't even find any, but that's about all we've used it for. And that's day 200 right there. We built the iron farm, of course. We built a giant moss and bone meal farm, which I haven't actually ran too much yet, but it does produce a ton. We finished up this altar. I think that was within this 100 days. And we built this huge mob farm right here. And this is actually going to be one of the biggest projects we work on, because I got the mob farm built up, but we're actually, as you can see here, I got a little idea. We're actually going to build a giant volcano above this. So it's going to be a huge terraforming project. Haven't had time to do it yet because it's going to take, honestly, it might take like 50 days to do that. So we'll see. I've never really done a large-scale terraforming project like that before, so that one should definitely be very interesting. We also got the wool farm and an upgraded potato and carrot farm down there. I don't remember if the melon and pumpkin farms were this last 100 days or not, but either way, we got a lot done in this 100 days, and I am super proud that I've actually made it this far. I really was not expecting to, but now that I'm here, it's getting easier every single day. The next thing we definitely need to do, though, is we need to do a raid and start getting totems of undying. We'll probably build a raid farm, because as you can see, I have nothing in my offhand right now. I usually carry a shield, but since we just raided the guardian temples, I'm not. Oh yeah, we just did that too. We raided 2 guardian temples, cleared out one, and also drained it, emptied out the insides completely, so we can do a project there in the future. So we've done a lot so far. I think now it's time to eat some cake and maybe log off for a bit.